Peggy, Lee, thank you for joining me here. This is part of our series of conversations with Pastor Hill or Pastor Mike. And I'm thankful for you guys for signing up and being willing to talk about the church. I know I've been blessed to know you. Peggy, you've been here at the church for how long?
Do I have to tell the whole
You don't have to tell the year. You can just say,
I was baptized in 1952 and pretty much been here ever since.
Wow,
yeah.
That's wonderful. And you brought Lee, right?
It was part of the deal.
Okay, well, good. We have been really blessed. And as we go through these conversations, our hope is just to let people know that there's so many different aspects of the church. I've done a conversation with Helen Kowalski and Suzanne Rutan and Ann Fay and Amelia Yingo. And it's great to have a couple here. So you guys serve as deacons, and I wanted you just to kind of tell a little bit about your ministry as a deacon.
Well, it's always appealed to me to be a hands-on person. I tried a stint as an elder, and it was tough going for me. Sitting down, listening to policy or voting on policy, and it just isn't something that I gravitate towards. So I was pleased to be asked to be a deacon, and I don't know how many circles or cycles I have been a deacon for, but more than I can count.
Good.
And this is our second, maybe it's our third, I can't count either. But serving together has been nice. We haven't always, sometimes I've been and sometimes he's been, but being together is really great because then we can remind each other what's coming up and what we need to do. But caring for the people and being involved in looking out for the congregation, people who have needs, it's a different kind of calling, and it is hands-on. And sometimes it seems like a lot of hands-on, and other times not. But it's a good place to be.
Well, you spoke about calling today.
Yeah.
And I feel, and I've heard this word before, ministry, that being a deacon is a ministry.
Yes.
And it's about caring and compassion, no matter what your political point of view is or where you come from. It's all just about extending the love that we've been given.
And I think part of that has become clearer to me over the years. The longer you live and the longer you serve, you learn new things. You think you knew it all when you were young. Come to find out you knew practically nothing. But just showing up. You don't have to have the right words, and rarely do, or the right words in a note, but just to show up. Show up physically, show up with a note, show up with a phone call. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it's special.
This church has been blessed by you guys taking care of our care and compassion, which really reaches out to our homebound members and those we don't see, those that we've been blessed with, those that we've lived with and we've loved with for a generation. But now, as we age, it gets harder to make that trek every morning, and sometimes we just can't. So I know that your connection with those is, like you said, Lee, a ministry, and a necessary one, because the church is more than what we have here on Sunday morning, which is beautiful and wonderful.
Important.
And important. But there's so much more. And we've gone into a world that gets so divided, and it's nice just to be together, to reach out to one another. And I wanted you guys to know how truly thankful I am for your guys' calling to really love and care for the members of this church.
Thank you. It is easy when someone stops coming to church, how quickly we forget. I mean, I shouldn't say I. Oh my gosh, that's right, so-and-so, I haven't seen them. So it's important to notice these things. I guess being in church is the tip of the iceberg, but there's so much more underneath.
Yeah. The church is so vast and so great, and it's wonderful. It's necessary to have that communion together on Sunday morning. But when those times when we can't, it's such a blessing to have deacons like you to know that whether we see you on Sunday morning or not, you're not forgotten. And you most certainly are loved. So thank you so very much for your ministry.
You're welcome. And now this ministry with Frankie.
Yeah.
Bard watches every Sunday. He says, I see you on television.
Yeah.
So one of the gifts of COVID, really, and I was not necessarily a fan of continuing it, but being online like this provides an opportunity. That's great.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a way to embrace and kind of move into that new era of the church.
I was going to say that you are only one person as a pastor, but yet you've got a whole team of deacons who can spread your message, the love of the church. So we take our directions and our leadership from you, Mike.
I thank you. And it's always a good reminder that no one person is the church, but we are the church. So thank you so very much.
You're welcome.